up, guys? Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
So, do you guys have any pets?
Yeah, I have two birds. They're technically parrots. One is a lovebird, which is like this tall, and then I have a conure who is about this tall. And
Shit.
the lovebird loves the conure, and the conure doesn't really care about the lovebird. So that's always very interesting in our house because the conure doesn't care and tries to chase him off all the time.
There's probably some deep-seated love in there somewhere, though. She just wants to play hard to get. I would speculate.
Yeah, she's been doing that for 5 years. Really hard to get.
Playing the long game. I do not have any pets. I'm sort of a stepdad to a dog, kind of now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my significant other has a, Boston Terrier. Good little dog. Doesn't bark. I've never heard the dog bark once. It's an anomaly. Crazy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got a puppy. You guys met him, Jackson, a couple months back. He's been fun, but definitely a terror.
How old is he?
He was born in September.
Yeah. Oh, he's that fresh. Okay.
He's
Dang,
pretty
okay.
fresh. He's growing really fast.
Yeah, he does look big.
I was going to guess like 2-3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, I'm not a dog guy, so don't ask me.
Well, fuck yeah, guys.
Have you guys had dogs before?
Yeah, I grew up with a dog in the house. He's still alive, actually. His name is Tonka.
Tonka?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess he's a big dog.
No, he's actually a little dog, which is
Oh.
funny because he's like little and stocky.
Oh, yeah.
But oh yeah, do you guys want to do like a like an intro of yourselves? Like say like where you're from, like what you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it, Josh.
Well, I have to go first. Okay. Yeah. I'm Josh. Drummer for Solshade, clearly. Originally from like the Green Bay area. Moved down to Madison here recently. It's been a year ago in January. So just smacking tubs in my free time, doing the 9 to 5, doing some 5 to 9s, staying busy, writing tunes. Pretty simple.
Like yeah, what do you do for a job?
I do product information management at a company that sells audio, visual, and lighting equipment to like production companies, houses of worship, some end users too.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
that's sick.
Music all around.
Fuck yeah, I'm really trying to shoot for getting the job in the music industry here.
It's there's two ways you can go about it. I mean, I think it's like if you love it enough, it doesn't feel like it's work. But the flip side is like, when your work becomes your hobby and your hobby becomes your work, there's that weird like everything kind of gels together and it doesn't have the same luster that it once did. But
It doesn't have the same escape.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like if I'm living in this thing constantly, it's like where's the silver lining?
Yeah, then you got to find a new hobby.
Yeah.
And then not monetize it.
Yeah.
Exercise, right? That's the new escapism. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, music's great. Think about it all the time. So like I'm fortunate to like be able to have the separation pretty clearly with like the work is the work and then like the playing music still has the same like creative outlet and like escapism, I think.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I agree with that 100%.
What kind of jobs are you looking for right now?
I mean, right now I'm just trying to. I mean, I've been trying to like build the whole Brutch Productions things for like a few years now. That's basically just been my main focus. That's a big reason why I started the podcast to try and get like my name out there a little bit more.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and I don't really know where where else to look, honestly, especially because I'm kind of trapped right now because I work like I build and wire control panels for this company called Nova, which is a great company. Like, and they like treat all their employees well.
Sick.
But like, and yeah, I mean they pay pretty well, so like I'm kind of trapped between a rock and a hard place because it's something that like I'm good at it, but like it's something that I'm like not passionate about, and I'm like extremely passionate about music.
Yeah.
So like I just been, and it's also difficult to give the music like the love that it needs while also working like a full-time job. So yeah, that's kind of my situation right now.
Dude, like having the energy to work 8 hours and then come home and then work on the thing you're passionate about, like that's hard. Like Josh does it and I see him do it. Thankfully I don't really have to do that as hard, but yeah, he'll go work 8 hours and then I'm like, okay, finally someone to play with, and then he'll come to the studio and then he'll hang out there and we'll work on stuff. Like last night he came and then we like right after work you came and then we were there till like 11.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, to that point though, it's not always easy. It's sort of a numbers game. Like you've got to keep the expectation in check of, okay, I might show up and it's going to be sort of a crapshoot. You're not going to get the outcomes you'd hope for. But like when it does click, yeah, like last night was a great example. Just like super productive, super creative, like a lot of good outcomes, and like that's the reminder of like, okay, this is why I go through the less than desirable parts on a regular basis for these like cool little nuggets of magic, so to speak.
Fuck yeah. Is that what you guys worked on last night? Was that little clip you posted earlier by chance? That sounded sick.
Yeah, thanks, dog. I'm like jacked on it mainly just because it's real drums, and I'm just like all jazzed on real drums right now.
Hey, do you want to tell the people your name and what you do, Spencer?
Yeah. So I'm Spencer Fox. I'm from Appleton, Wisconsin. I record I mainly mix bands, but I do record bands. And I play guitar in Solshade and bike when it's warm.
Hell yeah, that's the life. You got any cool like trails by your house?
Yeah, so I live in Madison right now, and there is a lot of trails. So I can just like leave my house and then be on trails like very far. You can go very far south and all the way up to Travis's house on the north side.
Does the glacial drumlin run over there?
So yeah, it starts just east. That's the long one we did.
Is that the one we had to drive to?
Yeah, we drove there.
Oh, dude.
And I was like, yeah, if we go all the way, we'll get to Waukesha.
Waukesha. No kidding. Because I ride that, or like in the summertime, I ride that trail like all the time. It's like not far from here at all.
Dude, that's cool.
You also shred the gnar?
Yeah, I do.
Dude, let's shred together sometime.
I'd be down as fuck.
That would be fun. Yeah, I like biking in gangs. Fun.
Dude, hell yeah. I need more of that. More of that in my life. I actually just like started working out again recently after like not working out at all.
Good on you, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what kind of stuff are you doing?
Just a lot of just general lifting. I've been trying to get my abs going. I've been doing one thing I really been liking is the row machine at the gym. That's
not
fun.
dabbled. Like, is that harder than it looks?
I mean, you can set it to different like intensities and shit. But I mean, after you go for like 2 miles, it's pretty intense, you know.
I always like think about like doing it, but then I'm like, okay, I know that when I get on there, I'm gonna forget how my body works, and I'm gonna like pull, and then it's gonna be like separate, and then so I don't even do it. I'm just like, I'm gonna stick to, free weights.
Yeah, it's kind of there's like steps to doing it. Like you like start with your knees are bent and your arms are forward, and then you push your knees back, and then like so it's like that's step 1. You push your knees back, and then you push your knees back, and then you pull it, and then you go back like that, right?
So the next
And then-
podcast
and then you go
episode
back.
is going to be entirely dedicated to you showing us how to exercise. Join us next time.
Yeah, I'm knowledgeable because I watched one of those like classes on the ones that have the screen once. So
Oh,
so I'm a pro pretty much, a pro rower.
Does it make you want to get out on the water and really row?
Dude, honestly, it does.
That's
because
cool.
I love kayaking.
Yes.
Kayaking is fun as
Yeah.
fuck.
Have you ever done any of the lakes down in Madison? Like Mendota or Monona?
I've been out there on a boat with my grandpa fishing.
Okay.
But other than that, I haven't been like kayaking or anything
Dude,
like that.
highly recommend. We went paddleboarding last summer out on whatever one it was.
Yeah,
and
that
it
was like a really
awesome.
small one, but
Yeah.
that was fun.
Oh yeah. So I'm curious, where did your guys' musical journey start?
You're going first on this one. We can alternate.
That is kind of tricky because it wasn't like a big aha moment. Just like looking back, I think in like elementary school, people are like, "Yeah, we're gonna start a band." It's like, "Oh, I'll play drums because my dad played drums, so that makes sense, right?" And they're like, "No, you're gonna play guitar." It's like, "Why?" And there we go. So I got a guitar, I guess, and then
Wait, hold up. What guitar was it? Was it a Flying V?
no, but I did own one.
Oh shit.
So
At
sick.
one point. It was I don't remember what it was. It was like an Ibanez something.
Smart.
A double cutaway Ibanez. You can believe it. Like an even cutaway, not like an offset like normal. Like everybody's thinking Ibanez, not that style. Not like a super strat, like a almost like an SG. It was
Okay.
and it was like orange. It was very ugly. It was terrible.
Sounds like I kind of throw up a little bit
Yeah,
thinking about it.
I thought it looked very cool. Though.
my first guitar was an Epiphone Les Paul, like the junior version.
I know exactly what that is. My second guitar was an Epiphone Special Model 2. And that was also a very cheap guitar, but I rocked that one for a very, very long time.
Oh yeah.
Trying to think. Musical journey. I don't know. Nothing really like I generally liked music, but I feel like once I started like hearing like actual heavy guitar in middle school, it was like, how do I make that noise?
Yeah.
And I didn't have a clue. And it took a very long time until I finally pushed the channel button on my like 10-watt amp, but I accidentally had the gain and the volume like all the way up on that channel. I was like, oh, these do nothing. But then when I actually pushed the switch to channel button, it was the loudest sound I ever heard as like a 12-year-old. And so I literally just unplugged my amp from the wall because I didn't know how to like. I was like so scared I like forgot how to like turn it off.
You're like, oh shit.
So I like just unplugged it, but I don't remember what happened. I like just like, yeah, so don't push that button. I will never do that again. That was terrifying. I don't really know what led to like understanding like distortion, but eventually I found out, yeah, you turn the gain all the way up, but turn the volume down so it doesn't kill you. And then I was like, this sounds awesome. It's just like not actually playing any notes, but just making noise with distortion for the first time. It was very magical.
Oh yeah, I
actually.
remember that. I
was
remember doing that for the first time.
So angry. Why do I feel happy and angry?
You've been just trying to reconcile that idea
Yeah.
your whole life now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the secret. Yeah, I don't know. Then I don't know. Someone showed me probably something with double kick, and that confused me for a long time. And then I learned that, and then I don't really know.
Do you remember like the bands that you were into that like made you wanna?
Yeah. So I was really into Christian rock because that's all that I was allowed to listen to. So I found a band called Skillet. I mean, they're still around. They're still doing the thing. But back in the day, they were actually good and heavy. There's an album. I don't remember the album name. Not Comatose, but the one before that, I think. I don't know, it was very heavy, and I still think it sounds heavy actually to this day. And I was really confused when I heard that because I was like, he's screaming, and I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate you admitting, with evidence that Skillet is still heavy. I think that's.
I
think
did
it
say
takes a
they
lot of.
still are heavy. They were heavy.
Well, that it
on
still
album.
holds up heavy.
I still
now.
think. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's heavy.
I think it takes some courage. I appreciate that about you.
Oh.
This is also coming from like somebody that's coming into their second appreciation of Nickelback. So like, I get it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Nickelback kicks ass.
Thank you. Right.
I completely disagree with everybody's like, and like, like their mixes too, like are like phenomenal, like amazing,
Dude.
like the what's the fucking guitar tone on Animal. Do you know that song?
We covered that.
That shit is just like, it just comes in with that. And it's just like,
Yeah. You can't
It's
deny
awesome.
it.
Yeah, it's life changing.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Yes, we're in like a Nickelback phase because we played a show where we did 3 originals and 3 covers, and it was supposed to be a new metal show, but we just like emailed the promoter, yeah, can we actually just do Nickelback? And so like on the flyer it was listing all these like, oh, this band as like Korn, this band is whatever, all these new metal bands, and Solshade doing a special Nickelback performance.
They didn't want to lump it in with new metal.
Yeah, which is fine, but they agreed to it, and it was funny.
I was expecting some pushback on that, but I'm really glad.
Yeah, we
They
were
let it-
ready to fight, but they said, okay, first try.
Yeah.
Dreams do come true. Just
Yeah.
gotta ask for it.
Lesson learned.
that's fucking awesome. What songs did you guys
So
play?
we played it. We opened with Animals. I'm blanking on the names.
Oh, and then
That's the only one I remember. 'Cause he's just
Figured You Out,
Yeah.
which like to me they're all basic song structures, but like there's something about how it all comes together. It's just so much fun to play. And then we close with, How You Remind Me, because it's, out of obligation. Because you have to
Hell
do
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Those 2 are actual good songs, I think.
Yeah.
Animals is hilarious.
It
But
is.
Those lyrics
Dude,
are
but the
just
mix
asinine.
is so good.
the mix is so good. Yeah. We like had to like, so he sings like pretty high, so we like pitched it down to like, and we played it lower, so it was even heavier. But like listening to like the demo in a lower tuned was hilarious. Oh man.
Like Cookie Monster doing Nickelback.
Yeah. And the snare was like in the like 180 hertz range instead of like 200. It was so good.
Like I'm thick.
It's hilarious. So where did your musical journey start, Josh?
How much time do we have? The long and short, definitely grew up on like 80s metal rock from early age. So I think like 2nd grade or something. I like went and saw Def Leppard at the Kewaunee County Fair. Instantly became like my favorite band. Like if this dude can play drums with one arm, like I sure as hell can do it with 2. And like the
Oh, yeah.
production value on Hysteria, to me, it's timeless. I love it. It's super nostalgic. It's super unique. It whoops ass. They've got some really cool sounds in there. So yeah, from an early age, like that really just captivated me and put me on a path to pursue drumming. And then it was sort of like there was 3 phases growing up where it's like the rock thing sort of informed some progressively like heavier things. So like 5th, 6th grade, I got into Good Charlotte. Like that was the obsession for a bit. And then I remember at my friend's house, Jordan Schmidt, so vividly, like I can picture it like it was yesterday. We were in his like kitchen looking into the living room watching, I think it was MTV at the time. Back in my day, they played music videos. But Duality came on and that video just blew my brain apart and just like, what is all of this?
Oh, did you say Duality?
Yeah, from Slipknot.
Oh, fuck yeah.
What is this? What is any of this? It's like, what is that guy doing? Like, what?
Is
He's
he hitting a trash can?
He has a baseball bat. He's doing this. I'm like instantly captivated. I'm like, okay, So yeah, then Volume 3 came out, and that just opened up like the whole heavy realm. And from there on, it's just been like heavy leaning stuff. um, yeah, and then Find Veil of Maya later after the burial, that sort of stuff kind of shifted me towards the metalcore stuff. But yeah, it's just I don't know, it's just always been there, been sort of an itch. Always thinking about drumming, always thinking about music, always wanting to talk about it. And it's put me in a lot of cool positions. Like talking before, it's just like I lucked out with the job I have now. It's sort of like a weird chain of events that's it all comes back to music, right? It's just like connections I've made through like playing with people and meeting people, playing different shows. So like it's informed like some of the best parts of my life. So it's just like this cool feedback loop where it's just like thinking about it makes me do cool things make me keep doing it. You can put that way more eloquently, I'm sure, but yeah, it's been pretty persistent my whole life.
Oh yeah. When did you get your first kit?
First kit was Christmas when I was like 9, I want to say. It was you ever see those really, I think it was a Remo like subsidiary called Enforcer.
Dude, I know about those.
Yeah.
I've seen those.
They come with like those really crappy
Those cymbals that are like so weird.
And when you play the hi-hat too hard, it inverts. Great.
Yeah, I had like a similar kit when I started. It was a Borg. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It was. I'm pretty sure my grandparents bought it from Sam's Club.
Dude, sick. It's a rite of passage, though. You have to go through that phase.
Did you start on drums?
Yeah, I did. Cause I noticed you said your dad played drums. My dad played drums too, and he was playing in like cover bands and shit. So like just growing up, like there was always like drums and music and bands playing always around. So yeah, I started on drums just because my dad pretty much just gave me a pair of sticks and was like, "Go nuts."
Yeah.
And then I shredded all of his cymbals, and he was pissed. But
were they good cymbals?
Oh yeah, like good quality, like Zildjians. But like I didn't know any better. In my defense, like you gotta just give me a pair of sticks and said, "Go ahead."
Dad, you said go nuts, and I did.
He didn't
that.
give
You
me any
can't be
lessons or anything.
Somewhere our wires got crossed.
You rim-shotted the cymbals.
Yeah. So what bands have you guys all been in, like growing up?
I feel like my resume is a little bit shorter, so I'll go first. The first like metal band I was in, we went through a few name changes. The first iteration was Hang the Innocent, which later became Red Carpet Massacre, which later became Draw O Coward. We did a couple EPs, recorded them with Derek over at 608. That ended in like 2012, I want to say. And then when that sort of tapered off, I took a break, went back to school, and then joined a folk indie rock thing back up in Green Bay when I was living there.
With a washboard, right?
Sorry. No, I had to. I think I did get forced to play a Mumford and Sons song begrudgingly.
I was legitimately gonna ask that.
Yeah. Aside from that, though, I also did some live drumming with my good dear best friend Slater Smet. He did some original songs a few years back, and we did some gigging, and that was just like straight cool, like good indie rock, like feel good stuff, just totally fun to play. But that's been the extent of my resume.
Oh yeah. Everything okay? Okay. What about you, Spencer?
Yeah, I've been in a few bands. I don't know. I was in bands in like middle school, but I don't know if that needs to count. I'm not going to talk about those, I guess. In high school, I was in a band called. We eventually just shortened the name down just to Vienna. We'll just leave it at that. But I was with Travis, who is our other guitar player in Solshade. Me and him have been friends forever now. So we met in high school. We actually were neighbors, and we didn't know it until we both were walking to the bus stop for first day of high school. And I was like, "Who's this guy? I've never seen him in my life." But yeah, we were neighbors. We didn't know it. Eventually, we were in a band together. That was Vienna, and we did that through pretty much all of high school and then into college, actually, a little bit. That's probably the most notable of that time. And eventually in college is where I met Evan Webster. And he was like, "Yeah, dude, metal." I was like, "Okay, cool." And I joined his band, The End Result, on drums.
Dude,
Hilarious.
wait. This is new information I'm coming into.
Yeah.
You were the drummer for End Result.
I was the original drummer. It wasn't good, but I did it. I couldn't do any like cool double kick. I could do ticka and like some some of that, but not like.
What else do you need?
You're right. It was 2010.
Yeah, dude.
That's all you need.
For the times.
Yeah, we did End Result. We did it pretty well as far as college kids can do it. We did it pretty hard, and actually, that's where I met Josh.
Yeah.
His band Drow Coward and the End Result. We were tight. And we played a lot of shows together, like weird Wausau shows.
Yeah,
like
the Titan
everywhere.
Underground ones.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we're at Titan Underground. I don't know. I remember all that very fondly. It's like, oh yeah, Draw's playing. Okay, it's gonna be cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually switched to guitar, which is better. In that band. Yeah, we did End Result through like the end of college. And then that became Pangea, with like Trey being like the writer, because actually Trey, when he joined the End Result, he was the drummer.
I remember that.
So
That was
Trey drumming and Evan and I playing guitar. It sounds hilarious now, but it's true. That's what we did.
Well, Trey just treads. So
Yeah,
like,
he was actually pretty good drummer. He did like the open hand thing, which I thought was berserk the first time I saw him do it. But I was like,
left hand.
left hand on the hi hat, but then he'd switch for like china and ride cymbal. I can't do that.
That's
I'd
some
have
like
to-
ambidextrous.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he just
I got the vibe from that dude, just like because I used to follow Pangea pretty heavy, back when that was like a thing, like the those like the doing the riffs videos
man.
and shit, dude. Those are awesome.
dude, Evan and Trey did that every week for years, and they like never missed one. They did that every week. They'd be like, "Yeah, you want to like do like this BT band one on bass?" So I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll try." It's impossible for me because I don't really play bass with my fingers, and I was trying to be true to what they were doing, and so I did one. I was like, "Okay, I don't want to ever do this again. It's terrible." Yeah, then Pangea started, and then we did that for a very long time. I was in a cover band called Granny Shot. That's a whole thing too. You want to make money playing music, start a cover band.
and be really, really good at it. I can unbiasedly
Yeah.
say that I didn't see them when you were there, but like if there's
Right.
any indication, like the rest of the band now, like
Yeah, they're very, very
so
good.
dialed.
Because it was Evan, Trey, Steve Meyer, who was like not the original Pangea drummer, but he was the second Pangea drummer. I played bass, and our good friend Jared Norton was singing. So that was Granny Shot. We did that for a few years, and it was just like, like every weekend in the summer. Okay, where are we playing? And oh, they're paying us. You're not paying to go play like your 20-minute set for people who don't care. So it's definitely different. Turns out that's not for me, so I don't really do that anymore. That's fine. Yeah, Granny Shot, then Solshade, then apparently Pterodactyl King. Yeah, I think that's the correct order.
Oh yeah. Well, since you brought up Pterodactyl King, I gotta ask some questions about Pterodactyl King. What's the deal with that?
um, yeah, so it's a very weird situation, kind of an interesting story. In I think it was 2016, Pangea and Pterodactyl King played together in Chicago, and we became friends. And I was like recording bands like this whole time. I've been recording bands since like I don't know 2010-ish, I guess. Not that I was like ever good at it, but I have attempted since then.
Stop being so humble.
I'll show you some mixes later, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So then Pterodactyl King had Trey and I. Trey and I were working together, recording bands at that time. They had us down to Chicago to like record their album. So we got to know them very well because we like lived with them for like 10 days or whatever and recorded 10 songs. So that was quite an experience because we just brought 2 computers and we had a studio like in the basement and one up in the kitchen. So we were doing like vocals downstairs and guitars and bass up in the kitchen. It was very, very wild. It was very fun, kind of stressful because it's like, are we gonna get this done? So
was it under like any type of like priority, like, or just like time?
yeah,
Like-
well, because I mean, Trey and I were just down in Chicago just to record them just for a certain amount of time. We had to get back to regular life, regular jobs and stuff. So we were just trying to get it all done. It was fun. And then so I mixed that in 2017,
Oh wow.
and the album has been done since then. It's wild. now
That's
that
some
I'm thinking-
trivia.
Yeah, so it's been done, and they were like, oh, we want to put it out right, but eventually they just kind of they broke up. Some members weren't interested anymore. The main guy, Mark, he's the vocalist who does all the high shit, which is awesome. Eventually he started talking to Trey and I, mainly Trey though, about like, how do I release this right? What do we do? And eventually it's like, well, you need a band. I guess we'll be your band. And so I'm just like technically in the band, but like just there for like music videos, I guess. If we ever got a show, I'd play it, I guess. But like we're not actively doing stuff. Maybe Trey and Mark are like writing stuff. I'm not really keeping track with it all, but technically I'm in it, and the music is really cool and I do like it. But yeah, we're not much is happening at the moment. But stuff could happen. It's just not on my radar. I don't like think about it. I'm very Solshade focused right now. I don't know if that made any sense at all, but that's
I think it did.
It tracks, yeah.
that's how I feel about it.
So how did Solshade end up becoming a thing?
Yeah, so it was 2020 March. Everything stopped, classic. And by like April, I was like, I guess I'm doing nothing except trying to like write the riffs I've had in my head for like a decade. So I just kind of started doing that, and eventually came up with a handful of songs that I liked enough, and then started looking for a vocalist that could, scream on them, sing on them, take it to the next level. Eventually, I like made like a post about it, or yeah, I did, and James Benson commented. He like I really like remember this for some reason. He said, "What's one more band?" That's like his comment, and I was like, what does that mean?" It's like, oh yeah, because he's like in 20 bands already. Is he like saying, why not? And eventually he messaged me later. It's like, yeah, like send me the stuff. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you're serious. Here you go. And yeah, he. So the song that is now called Manifest, I sent him the demo of that, and like in 2 days, he basically sent me that. The vocals that are final now, he basically sent that to me. I was like, okay, that's it. This is great. Let's do it.
So crazy.
So that was the beginning of 2021. So James and I worked together pretty closely, just trying to get vocals on like the riffs that I had, arranging them more into songs. We did that for several months until we had I think we had like 3 demos like that we liked that were done. And we're like, oh, I guess we need members. Okay, what are we gonna do? So I convinced Trey to like, yeah, play guitar. I'll play bass. I want to play bass because it's simple and it's easy. So that's what I want to do. And Trey was like, okay, I'll do it. And so I got him, and I got Michael DeMarco, who was longtime drummer of Pangea. I got him to track drums for it in New York. Well, yeah, it was in New York, and send me the files and like film himself. So we made like a little video. So they're like, yeah, look, we're a band. We did it. Eventually it's like, okay, well, I want to take the next step. Let's play live. Let's do it all. And then that's when it was like, okay, well, we need like a drummer that's like here. And I want members that are like actively trying to do this with me that doesn't have something else that they are also doing. Since James and I started looking around, and so we stumbled upon Maddie and Josh about the same time, and Maddie tried out on drums. It always starts with drums. She tried out on drums for Solshade, and then like the next week, I think you came and tried out on drums, and I like recorded it and videotaped it so I could like really compare. And I guess Josh won because he's the drummer, but like I also saw like Maddie's like guitar videos that she posted on YouTube. Her technique's very good. I was like, okay, but can you play bass? And she could, and she shreds at bass. So it just made sense. So there we go.
Maddie's so good.
Yeah,
she's too good.
She's
Hell yeah.
ultra talented.
You
She's
guys,
so young.
you guys are all so good. Like when we played that show, and I like you guys were so fucking tight.
Thanks,
Like, what goes into your guys' like practice regimens to get that tight? Are you guys fucking whiplashing it?
What does that mean?
We get the.
You ever seen Whiplash?
Is that a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the guy from Spider-Man. He wants the pictures of Spider-Man, and he's not my tempo. Yeah, he's
Never
kind of
s-
like that to me sometimes. Like when we're demoing, he gets a little whiplashy on me, but it's for the betterment of the band. No, I think we're pretty well disciplined in our own like practice regimens. Like,
Mhm.
I'm fortunate to live pretty close to the studio, so I can go in there and rip it whenever I need to. But then we typically, before we do a show or we do a little run, we get the Madison branch of Solshade Enterprises.
Yeah, which is Travis, other guitar player, Josh and I. We're the ones that live in Madison. Maddie's up in Green Bay. James is in Rochester, Minnesota. So being all together at once is always special, and it doesn't always happen, unfortunately.
We do make it work.
We do, but
Yeah.
not like not as much as I'd like.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, everybody practices on their own, and then we get together, gel it out, and then we also I run clicks through my in ears just so you get like that true north, just to kind of make up for any crazy possibilities of derailment. And I think it's served us pretty well over the past 2 years.
Yeah, you got click, you basically have like the EP playing in your headphones minus drums plus click.
When I play live drums, like I like to do that.
Yeah.
I like to have just the whole audio playing. That way, like if you like get off or anything, like you like can hear it in your ear,
Yep.
like where you need
You
to
have
get
more,
back on.
more information to get back on.
Yeah.
I agree completely. Yeah, what do you guys have in your in-ears?
We just pretty much just click and like a little bit of us, like vocals and samples. That's pretty much it.
Pretty simple. Nice.
You all run in ears?
Yeah.
Dang.
That's the dream, dude.
Yeah, we just got one of those X5, the like kind of cheaper ones. It's just like a little transmitter unit you plug into where your output is,
Okay.
and then just have it comes with like 4 packs. Well, think we have 5 packs actually, and they just all link to the same one. But we probably will eventually change to like getting either a better system or getting more of the transmitters so that everybody can kind of have like their own. That's what I'd like to do eventually, because then it can kind of get a little muddy because they are in mono with those
Oh.
ones. But
Are you all sharing a mix?
yeah, basically, except for our drummer, because he's like actually wired into the system, so he has his own output.
Super smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it hasn't failed us yet.
Yeah, I mean, it worked at the last show. Was that their last show, the X-Ray show?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean, that worked really good.
Yeah, we've been kind of taking it easy, just working on writing lately, because our drummer had like a back injury.
I saw that.
So we've been kind of out, but he's getting back to playing and stuff. We have another show on March 29th, I think, at X-Ray again.
Oh, sick. Who with?
Right now I think it's just Knife Back. I don't know who else.
They're a Milwaukee band, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we've.
They're a very like down tempo, like like that type of.
Yeah.
You did that, and I know exactly what it sounds like now. Exactly.
Fuck yeah. So, you guys got signed recently. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Do you guys want to talk about like your label at all? And
Yeah, the New York homies at Silent Pendulum Records. As far as the signing process, it's kind of a long game, sort of thing. I've actually been friends with Dave Schermerhorn, who works at the label, probably since 2020. Met him via Instagram. He's one of the accounts that he's a really fluent vinyl collector, like super into music, loves collecting. So he was giving away a copy of August Burns Red's Constellations, and I'm like, oh, I don't have this. I love August Burns Red, like pivotal band, right? So I reached out, entered, and whatever, ended up winning it from him, and like for some reason we stayed in contact over all the years. Went out and met him in 2022 to see Christmas Burns Red out in Pennsylvania. So like,
dude, I've been wanting to go to that like ever since it started.
it's so sick. Cool lineup that year. I think like This or the Apocalypse came back. I think
I love This or the Apocalypse. Actually,
I can't tell at all. No, I'm just kidding. I can really tell in your music.
Sweet. I'm glad.
I can tell that you like take influence from them.
That's
Big
cool.
time.
Yeah, I probably wasn't thinking about that band when I was like writing riffs, but I don't know. I really listened to a lot
That
of
kind of like
record.
like groovy, like changing, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I see what you're saying.
I'm gonna have to do some homework. I'm not as familiar with them.
Dude, they're very sick. Actually, I like the not. What's the good record? Like this, like the second one's worse, right? Dead Eyes, is that the name of it?
I'm not familiar with like names.
Okay.
I never like dove like head first into them. I just know
Well,
them from...
you need to, I guess. Sheesh.
We'll listen to it on the way home.
We should. Yeah, August Burns Red. Sorry.
Oh yeah, this is the nature of the beast. Yeah, so we stayed in contact. Got to be really good friends with him. Like, as cheesy as it sounds, like he's been like a really good like long distance bromance. Like, dude's got me through some like super pivotal moments of my life. Just like being a cool, like tough love sort of like get off your ass and do it sort of like push. So some really good encouragement. And he, we've stayed in contact, and he ended up working for still works for Silent Pendulum. And I've just like kind of lobbed the idea to him, like, hey, dude, I'm in this band now. We're putting this thing out, and they've just kind of kept tabs on us for a little bit, seeing how we're staying active, what we're doing as far as content, They're just like, hey, do you want to maybe end up working together? And so it's a pretty cool like little mutual like casual thing, and just sort of panned out in the perfect sort of way, I think.
Oh yeah. Like, how did you know that that was like the right move for you guys? Like, versus like being like independent.
I mean, I think the way they approach the label is really, really cool. They've got a lot of built-in, just like, for me, ideal mentality that treat all the artists with a lot of respect. It's a very tight-knit community. Like, all the bands on the roster are super supportive of each other. The roster's fucking sick. Like,
Who else is all signed to them?
personally, I'm like my top bands from the label. Sleep Sculptor, they put out a record in 2023. Absolutely just disgusting, stinky, gross, scronkly wonglers.
All that means it's good.
Oh, dude, it's
Just to be clear.
so good. Like, probably I forget his name, but the vocalist, he's from the French Canada. Shout out Canada. But the dude is so sick. But they've got Black Sheep Wall, they've got Steak Sauce Mustache, Hollowing, Knots. They're doing Kenny Grohowski from Imperial. He has like this weird, crazy, like experimental opera thing that's coming out. Cell Damage. I'm blanking on a ton of them, but oh yeah, how could I forget Koningsor?
Koningsor.
Yeah,
Oh, my bad.
Koningsor.
Koningsor?
Yeah, it's like KONINGSOR. I think it's guitar player's last name, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken,
okay.
or really good branding. But they just put out another release too in 2023. Fantastic. If you like the mathy shit and just like a little bit of anthemic stuff, just really, really good. And their drummer is a beefcake. I hope Andy watches this. He's probably one of the funniest people I know. But yeah, just the tight knit community felt really, really good because like I feel like we sort of embody that. We're like our band dynamic is like we're all very like wholesome and like care for each other in sort of like a, I don't know, Hallmark-esque way. So it's like when we're exemplifying that, like internally, it's cool to like have that reciprocated from the label, right?
Hell yeah.
So
I guess just what are they like gonna do for you guys that like makes it like make sense to be signed? You know what I mean?
oh yeah, for sure. So I mean, obviously, like the shared publicity, that label has.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
got the established networks, further PR than like I think we could ever imagine handling by ourselves. Vinyl
Yeah.
is the dream.
Vinyl is the biggest thing
Oh,
about
hell
this
yeah.
Yeah.
deal because
Yeah.
they're primarily like vinyl label. That's we'll provide the vinyl, right?
And they've
Fuck
got
yeah.
like it's sort of their little niche. Like they put a lot of care in procurements. Like, are you familiar with like Wax Mage Records at all?
I don't think so.
And they do these crazy wacky variants, super like highly collectible. So like they do some stuff with them. And,
Very nerdy. Are you into vinyl?
I'd like to get into vinyl, but
don't do it.
because I mean I am a avid music fan, so I mean that's probably like once I'm doing this full time, maybe that'll be my hobby.
Yeah.
that you were talking about.
That could be.
It is a cool hobby though.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it.
Yeah, Josh and Maddie are very, very into vinyl. Maddie has like 1 million records, I feel like.
Yeah, 1.5 million, I want to say.
Yeah, it's a lot, and she just always buying more.
Do you have to have like a certain like do you change the mix at all for like putting it on vinyl?
Oh, dude, yeah. Speak to this. This is mind blowing.
This is a very good question. I don't know. So I have had a few of my mixes come out on vinyl recently, and that's really cool, and I feel awesome about that. And I've like looked into that, and I don't know. I haven't like came to any conclusions that lead me to change anything. I talked to my good friend Stacy. He's up in Green Bay. He used to be doing audio a lot, and I would send him stuff to like edit, and I don't know, a very good friend, but he knows way more about this than I know. But he was telling me like a less loud master with a little bit less low end, because when they're actually like cutting it, you don't want to like cut so deep for like a loud like bass drop that it cuts through the entire record.
Interesting.
So I trust that when I send a mix to a label for vinyl, I trust that they're going to like put it through some algorithm and they're going to be like, "Oh, we really need to like tone it down." And they just do it. It would be better if I knew what that was and I could just do it. But I don't know what that is and no one's complained yet. Of like I think it's 3 that I've turned in for vinyl.
I thought there was 4.
Was there?
Because there's the 2
Oh, yep.
the 2 World is Quiet.
Yep, The World is Quiet here. They recently pressed their first album that I mixed for them.
Also Silent Pendulum Band. That's another one.
Yep, they're a Silent Pendulum Band as well. That was my first vinyl that I've ever bought, was their latest record. When that came out on vinyl, I bought the vinyl. I was like, "Oh, I got a vinyl. It's huge." I've never listened to it because I don't have a record player.
But it sure looks sick.
It looks very cool, and my name's in it, so I feel really special.
Hell yeah.
That one was cool. And then
Surefire just put out one, right?
Surefire put theirs out. I bought that one. That one's cool too. And then Amiensis, James Benson, our vocalist, his other band, bigger band. I mixed like all summer. I mixed their like double full length. Very brutal. I like bought a new computer to do it because my computer like basically died when I did the last World is Quiet Here record, because I was doing everything in like one session with synth running.
Like a whole record.
A whole record.
I've thought about doing that before.
Dude.
Like mixing it in there too.
Yes.
Jesus.
Dude, this is why. If you get a mix note that's like, "Oh, can we turn the kick drum up 1 decibel on every song?" I got 12 songs. Think about all that extra time. Opening a session, adjusting the kick drum, bounce, save, close session. Like, or you just have it up. You move the fader up 2 decibels. You're done. That's it.
Yeah.
Imagine like a whole page of mix notes, and you had to do all of that to every song in individual sessions. I like want to like cry right now. That sounds so. I bought this like super computer to like handle the Amiensis record. Anyway, so that one's going on to vinyl, and I'm excited about that one. That's gonna be like a double vinyl. It's gonna be a lot of records. I think it's gonna be actually like 2 separate packages too, which is
so
cool.
sick.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
You should get all those bitches and like hang them up on your wall in the studio.
Yeah,
That'd be sick.
I hope the mix is still good by then.
Was that the grade of time?
Yeah, it does. It's like, wow, I really thought that was cool, and then later you're like, wow, I really messed that one up.
Getting too humble. Gotta let it be.
Yeah, Josh is really good at balancing me out, because I'm always like anxious about all the things, and he's just chill and just being cool.
Thanks, man. You balance me out too, and I need to be anxious and like stressed for a purpose.
Yeah,
You're a good motivator.
Yep, I got you. Yep, good talk.
Stress in the good way.
Thanks.
Motivated.
Oh,
Determined.
because of stress.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
good stress. Is this going to turn into an episode of Jerry Springer?
Who?
Maury Povich.
Not helping me.
Okay. Mulligan.
Well, anyways, back to Retrospect. I wanted to talk about that with you guys a little bit.
Yeah.
You did talk about like your kind of like process on it a little bit, but
Yeah, at least that's how we wrote it. Yeah, that's right.
what's your favorite song on the record, each of you? Well, if it's a different one, what's your favorite song to listen to on the record, and then what's your
Ooh.
favorite song to play live? If it's different.
That's a great set of questions. I think. Oh, I mean, favorite to play is Terminal. just because of the two car bomb-esque breakdowns. Like those always like seem to get received pretty well, and they're just really satisfying to play because it's like it's not super complex, but there's that weird like displacement that happens that I don't even know what it is. It's just muscle memory at this point. So that's always satisfying to play, but to listen to, I think, I don't know, Disembodied always gets me pretty jacked. It's a fun one.
I think Terminal's my favorite one because just anytime I listen to that song, I've been jamming your guys' record like heavy lately, but
Thanks,
anytime that one comes on, I'm just like, stank face, like heavy.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I appreciate that.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I think Terminal is my favorite one. It might be my favorite play and listen to. We'll just say that for now because I can't really think very hard about it right now.
Fix it in post.
Did you all do everything?
We did some things outside. So we actually tracked the drums at Blast House Studio in Madison with our guy Dustin. That was a crazy day because we're like, we have we have to get all the drums done today, which is that should never like happen. I mean, it happens all the time, but I would have liked to take more time. It worked out, but
yeah,
we knew that's the amount of time we were gonna have. We did like the 2 weeks leading up. We did like, okay, tonight we're gonna record the whole EP, the drums of it, at our studio as like a test run. See if we can do it. I think we did that twice, like in the 2 weekends leading up, and we felt pretty comfortable. We got new skins.
Yeah.
Put
That's
them
a
on
good
that
idea
morning.
to like practice it beforehand.
Yeah, it worked. I thought that worked out really good.
Yeah, I think that whole process certainly like that's probably the most intensive recording experience I've had. That definitely like I broke my teeth a little bit, so to speak, and like cut my teeth is the turn of phrase. That definitely made me a better player overall. Like made me appreciate like, oh yeah, okay, this is the diligence required of a quality performance. Like so, my ass kicked in a good way.
How natty is the final performance on the record?
Very good question. So we do have samples blended, but there is natural kick, snare, probably less toms. Toms are probably might be all sample, just because I want to like really crank the attack on the toms and just too much cymbals.
Yeah, cymbal bleed.
Yeah, but there is a healthy amount of kick and snare that is quite natural, which I'm really happy about. We made like samples at Blast House that day, and so I like just took the room mics because that's like the biggest reason why we wanted to go there is because like the room actually sounds cool. So we made like room samples, so then so we just trigger that off the snare and like have like a really isolated good snare room just to tuck up underneath like the natural room mics. And that to me is like what makes the drum sound on that EP that I'm still stoked about actually. It's the snare room sound.
Yeah, I applaud you for making it sound like human, but not like
bad human.
the very raw like grindcore that like I do enjoy, but like I don't know that I would be content putting that out. So like, yeah, you did a good job. You did a fantastic job.
Does it sound natural to you?
It does.
Cool. Well, good.
I was just curious how much sample replacement.
Yeah. Do you do much like real drums?
No, I don't. That's something I want to get into. But it's just I don't have the space. I don't have the space right here. I did try tracking in here once, and it sounded all right, but not like anything I would want to use on like a record I'm putting out. So I'll just put my own band on blast. We're all using samples right now, but after we put our first EP, we'll track drums.
Yeah, are you guys working on an EP besides the other singles? Or are those included?
Those are included in the EP.
Cool.
It's just taken a long time.
Dude, it takes a long time.
It goes back to that, like, you know, the same thing we were talking about before. It's like to put in the energy required after you're busting that day job. It's just like, man, this does take time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we have kids too, so it's another thing. It's just you gotta pay attention to the family.
even more credit due to you. Then that's
man.
Wild.
Fuck yeah,
good on you.
That is a lot.
But you know what? I'm gonna keep pushing through, persevering.
Yeah, man.
Eventually, I'll get there.
And as long as you're having fun in the process too, like,
Yeah,
you're making life livable, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
definitely. Spencer, do you have like trouble like separating yourself mentally from like the process, like, you know, as like a mixing engineer versus like being in the actual band? Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, good question. It's harder than I thought it was gonna be. That's for sure. I was like, yeah, we got good drum sounds, we'll do guitars, we'll do bass, yeah, put vocals on it. Mix it in a day, we're done. No, it took like months because I was indecisive. I had to like reshape what I thought everything was gonna be. And I was overthinking it, and that was annoying. I sent Stacy files to like edit it because I was like losing my mind. I was like, I don't know like how much to edit this or how much not to edit anything anymore. I've like lost my mind. Can you please edit these 2 songs of guitars and bass? And he did, and it was great. Stacy's awesome. But yeah, actually mixing it took a long time. I feel like I sent you like, okay, what do you think about the drums on this one? Okay, ignore that last message I sent. This one.
Man,
And we just did that for like weeks, I feel like.
in dare I say retrospect, I can't imagine like you're stressed out, like not knowing where true north is, and then I'm just
Right.
giving you these weird nebulous terms about like, yeah, if the kick could have a little more spank in the bottom, and if the guitars
Right.
could be a little more wiggly, and you're trying to make sense of that in like actual like practical terms.
Yeah, I don't really think like that. I usually get mad with those types of terms because everybody has a different definition for all that. And it's like, I don't know, I've got enough mixed notes to be just confused all the time. Because, well, the last band thought this term meant this, and now you're saying this, but I'm pretty sure you mean a different thing, and I don't know what that is yet, so I guess I'll just have to ask you the definition of this term.
We did it though. I think you got what I was going for
Yeah,
the most part.
Yeah, I remember you're like, yeah, I want the snare to have more. It's like, that one I understood. That just meant more room mics. Turn up the room mics. I like that one. That was easy. Yeah, it's definitely hard, and perspective. Like mixing what makes it hard is perspective. When it's your band, when it's you have even less perspective. So it was ultra hard. It took way longer than I thought. James was like, during the process, I like met up with him in Rochester because I have some family in Rochester where he's from. We met up, and he's like, yeah, man, maybe we should just ship it off to someone else. They could just do it in probably like a day. I got like a little mad, but like, of course I did. I was being dumb, being emotional and protective.
Yeah, I've had that. I've had band members tell me that before. You should just send it to Spencer, and I was like, he's mastering it.
Yeah, man. Well, I've enjoyed mastering this stuff. That's fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. What do you feel like it's hard mixing your own stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to finish it. You know what I mean? It's hard to be like, okay, this is done. Cause like there's always something where I'm like, you know, the guitars aren't hitting where the like as much as I need them to in this part. And
Yep.
like you've seen it. There's been times where I like sent you a mix and you're like, you know, I remember that one time when I sent you and you're like, you know, it sounds like your vocals were bounced out as MP3s and then bounced back into. And it was funny actually
Yeah.
because you guessed my DAW too and bounced back into Cubase, and I was like, wow. I like looked at the audio files. I was like, oh, they are MP3s, and I was like, oh, I was like, that was
That'll
like
get ya.
that was like a keen ear for that. Like,
I've heard some bad MP3s in my day. Just
that,
the high
I'm honestly still baffled that like through everything else in the mix, which was all wave files, that you could hear that the vocals were like, what is it, like a high end drop off?
Yeah.
That
Just like a straight drop off. Everything above like 10K was just gone. It was just
yeah, and you need that in vocals.
yeah, you actually need that in vocals.
That was definitely a learning experience for me.
Do you have any like tips or tricks or like things to keep you in check when you're like okay, because I think you're speaking not only to like the producing or the engineering side, but like also the artistic process. Like it's like when do you know when to say when is it done? Do you have any like guardrails that you like self-impose?
I generally, like, after I do all my like testing like in different spots, um like after I go back and like make my changes, like I'll just go back and until like I don't have any more changes to make, and then I'll run it by other people
Okay.
and like ask them their opinion. That's kind of how I know when it's done, is when other people tell me, yeah, that sounds good.
Sick. That's nice too, because you get like you take some of the pressure off of yourself. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm not the sole arbiter of saying like this is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Good
Right.
call.
So Spencer, how did you what got you into production and like made you want to do that as a career?
I think I just wanted to like originally it was like I want to record like myself playing power chords and hear that back and then play like a guitar solo at the same time as I'm hearing that back. So I figured out how to do that, and that like changed my life. Now I don't even like guitar solos now. That's probably why you're.
I was gonna say the
laughing.
irony of this
Yeah.
is just too much to handle.
Yeah, well, change my tune. Norma Jean doesn't have any guitar solos, so neither can we. I don't know. It just grew from there. I mean, if all the podcasts I listen to, they all like have the exact same story. And mine's very similar. I eventually recorded my own band, and then other bands. Well, other bands never really asked me. I just told them like, "You're gonna record with me. It's gonna sound great," but it actually sounded bad for a long time. I don't know. I just really enjoyed the whole process of it. Ended up going to school for recording at UW Oshkosh. It was also like a music major with an emphasis in recording, which was like a big bummer. I had to like play classical guitar. That was like a wrench in the plans, but anytime I could, I'd try to sign out the studio and record whoever. And I always liked doing that. So I don't know. It was a long time coming, that's for sure.
How long, like how long from the like inception of the idea in your mind of doing it as like a full-time thing did it take until it became a full-time thing?
I think I wanted to like record bands as a job, like in like freshman year of like high school. So like that's like all I wanted to do. It's like, this is the most fun I've ever had. Let's just do this forever, is like what I was thinking. And my parents were like, well, you should go to college. I was like, well, can we like go to college for recording? So we figured that out, and they were like, I guess that's okay. I guess that's good enough. So they let me go to college for like a music thing, which I think they were like, I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't know. It kind of worked.
I mean, you're still doing it.
I'm still doing it. That's true.
I think that's worth something.
So yeah, like the first time that I went full time with it, there's been like a few like lengths of time or periods that I was like that was my sole gig. And actually, I'm not doing recording as my full-time job right now. We can get to that if you want at some point.
Sure.
But probably maybe like 2 or 3 times in my like 20s where I'd like quit everything because I had a lot of projects and it was all working out. And then eventually you'd be like, okay, well, I guess I need to have more money than what this is. So I'd do something else. Like I did like DoorDash for a while, trying to keep all that moving. And eventually, I don't know. It's really hard to like get enough projects to fully fund you. You have to have like a lot, and you have to be really quick, and you have to be really good all at once. And you just like have to just not sleep and be a workaholic. Pretty sure.
Pick 2.
Yeah, pick 2 exactly. I don't remember what the question was, but that was
We're
was
just
some
talking
words.
about like how long it took for it to become a full-time gig, or uh so what are you doing as your full-time gig
Yeah,
then?
so when was it? Like 2019. So I think I was like full time for like a year, full time audio, strictly audio for like a year and a half or so. And I was like, okay, I need like another job. Need like a part time job, something I can like do in the morning or something, and then go work on audio. Yeah, I'll find that. I don't know what it is, but I'll find it. I answered a Craigslist ad for beer line cleaner. So
Was that the title of the posting?
that was the title of the posting.
So sick.
Who knew it would change my life? So I met this guy, and he's like, "Yeah, I own this beer line cleaning business. You seem cool. Yeah, let's do it. You just if you want to, you can do this job. We meet early in the morning, and we go clean beer lines. So like bars, breweries, restaurants, anyone who has a draft beer system, like you need to clean the inside of the lines because beer has all kinds of stuff, among them bacteria that um, you need to clean that out. Otherwise, people are going to get sick and it's going to taste bad. All kinds of terrible things. Anyway, so I started that job at the beginning of 2019. And it was just early morning, wake up super early, go do that. You're done by like maybe 10, 11, and you have the rest of the day to do audio. It was great. Eventually, so I was doing audio and Pangea, Granny Shot, all that at the same time. Eventually, my boss was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to like go do something else, like leave Madison. So I'm going to sell the company. So you're going to get a new boss unless you want to buy it, and then you just can do whatever you want. And that like threw me for a loop because I was starting to plan my next go audio full time. And I was like, I'm either gonna have a new boss or I have to like figure out how to like buy this from my boss and then be a business owner in a way that I wasn't anticipating. So there was months of what am I doing? What am I gonna do? So we were in the middle of like doing Solshade at that time when I was like, am I gonna buy this business? And that's all I talked about because I was so stressed out about it, probably.
That's great. I'm sure you were stressed out, but I don't remember like.
Maybe we weren't close enough, so I didn't share all my stressors to you like I do now.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, that was still when I was making the commute and you're buying me burritos.
Oh yeah, yeah. So the whole time while we were like learning how to be Solshade and like learning drum parts, demoing stuff, Josh would like drive down like twice a week from Green Bay for like months.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, it was great. It was awesome.
It was a good time.
The best.
Anyway, I bought the business, so then now I'm like a beer line cleaner. That's like my job. So like I own that, and I like own it, but I also do it all. So that takes up all of my morning and a lot of my energy. And then after that, then I'll go to the studio. So right now the studio isn't like it's not funding my life. It's paying for itself as its own LLC self-sustainable, paying the studio rent, paying for whatever, like food while I'm doing studio stuff, upgrades, strings, heads, all that. So yeah, that's what I'm up to now, and it's a very weird life because I wasn't ever anticipating like doing that. It just like kind of like fell in my lap. I'm glad it did because financially it's great. You can like go do a job and just get paid for it rather than like work really hard on a mix and still just get paid this flat amount. Maybe if you mix it in like an hour, it's great and it's maybe it's perfect, but like it's such a different mindset of like, yeah, I'm going to go clean these lines. I know exactly how much it's going to be. I know when I'm going to be done compared to like, I'm going to mix this out. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I know already how much I'm going to get despite how I don't know the length of time I'll put on it. So like, that's kind of refreshing. That's kind of like regular. That's kind of how like most like regular W-2 jobs are. You know how much money you're going to make. So like, that is always nice against the studio life. But I do still go through times of, okay, how do I get rid of this beer business? And like wake up early, get coffee, and just go to the studio. Because when I do that, it's the best. It's the absolute best. Like it's my best part of the day. I'm more creative. I don't know. I don't really care about beer lines.
It is kind of fun though.
Yeah. So I've hired Josh in the beer line cleaning business, and he comes and helps me for like big accounts, and he has a few of his own, which is cool. It's great because then I don't have to do them, and he does them. He gets paid, and then I can go like, I don't know, maybe like write a riff. Realistically, just go to bed though.
Get enough sleep so that you can the next day go write the riff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I still think it's really funny that I don't mean to boast, but I've been off the sauce for a year and a half now, and ironically, I'm cleaning beer lines.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
funny.
So who would you say were like your mentors when you were coming up?
I kind of always did look up to Evan and Trey just because they are just so good at playing instruments, and they really know how to practice, and being around them as much as I did, that definitely like rubbed off on me in a way that I think has been really helpful, especially when it came to like, okay, we have these 60 cover songs that we need to learn. Do it quickly. I think that was really helpful. I wish I had like a recording mentor. I did go do like an internship in Nashville, and I like worked under this guy, but like he wasn't like a mentor. He was more like he was just like my intern boss. He wasn't like, yeah, see I'm doing this to this kick track for this country song. It wasn't that. It was like just watch him work and make the coffee, get the charts. It was really, really boring, but could have been better, but it wasn't. So I did that for a year. It doesn't really count for much for me as a mentor. I don't know. I don't really have very much on that.
Do you guys, like either of you, do you like gravitate towards any like producer, engineer, or any sort of like platform or like learning resource? Like I know Nail the Mix is a thing that like a lot of people.
Nail the Mix is a big one for me.
Okay.
Like all that like whole URM universe.
Are you active?
Not right now, but I was for a really long time.
I like just signed right back up.
I feel like honestly, probably that's probably where I learned most of what I know.
Absolutely.
That and you know Nigel, right?
I know of him. I think we've had a couple conversations. I know he's in Cicada, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say he's probably like a big like direct like mentor to me because he's really good with production stuff. And just anytime I'm with him, he always like gives me like tips and tricks and shit.
Yeah.
He taught me about parallel compression on your drums.
That sort of stuff is so important, though. I mean, I feel like as great as Nail the Mix and all those other resources are, like, you still like to have somebody there physically communicating it to you. Just like, I don't know, I feel like it has capacity to like track better and like mean something. If you're gonna retain the information better or like have a dialogue to better understand it, it's like that stuff is super important.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then like their podcast that they did was like awesome too because they just talked to like a million producers.
Dude, I like check every day if AL's back doing URM podcast, and he hasn't really done one in a while.
I've been listening to a couple just because he's such a good interviewer with like things of this nature. So
Yeah.
like I like to listen to him and kind of like get like ideas of like things to talk about with people and shit.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, I just listened to the Zach Cervini episode again. That
Oh, yeah.
that one's so good.
I think I listened to Daniel Bronstein recently.
Yeah.
And that dude's awesome.
Is he the one that did Spirit Box stuff?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he did Era's latest stuff that they're putting out too.
Sick.
Like their brand new stuff. That
Hmm He mixed their
Oh.
whole new record that's coming out.
I don't.
Who did they go with before? Someone. I
Carson and
yeah,
Grant.
Pennsylvania guys.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Lancaster.
Those guys are nasty too.
I
some
feel
of
like
the
they
shit.
really stepped up their game like out of nowhere.
They did the Snowblood like Nail the Mix. I learned a bunch of shit from that. It was crazy.
Snowblood?
Do you know
Is that a band?
No, Snowblood is a song by Era.
Oh, see, Tyler would kill me, but I don't really know much about Era.
I'm a fucking Era stan, so
I should listen to them more.
It's one of those bands on paper. I
If
feel
you-
like I would love.
if you're a member of Nail the Mix, I highly recommend checking out the Snowblood one because they also did I don't know if you're interested in this at all, but they did like a Dolby Atmos one too.
Oh, okay.
and it got crazy.
I remember like hearing about that. I'm not ready to even think about that. yet.
Same here.
2 speakers is enough for me.
Right. How many speakers is that? Is it like 6 or 8 or
don't
something like
know.
that? It's crazy.
It's a lot.
Have you ever heard of that? It's
It's like that's like the immersive sound, right? Dude,
Mhm.
that's like we just had a Sennheiser training at work the other day, and like they were talking about like how that's like on the forefront, like that's coming down the pipeline
Mhm.
real
But
fast.
where is a consumer going to do that?
They're probably gonna have to get like some type of like special headphones or something
Yeah,
that just
I
like
think it's
it's like spatially.
How does it do that?
They probably have different speakers in the headphones that like I don't know. It's just like it's crazy how like there's like separation between the instruments in like different spots, and it's just. I've
Oh.
never actually heard a Dolby mix though,
Oh,
so
okay. I was like,
I'm taking stabs in the dark here.
I
guessing
gotcha.
what it's.
Yeah, the idea sounds really cool. I just like the way I consume music, like a lot of the time it's just like a Bluetooth speaker at work.
Right.
Basically mono.
But there's probably going to be people who are like same with people that are like record heads. There's probably going to be people that are going to be like Dolby heads, like
that's
you know
your
what I mean?
progression. Yeah, I mean, there's so many audio
That's-
files out there now. They're just gonna be like all about that.
Yeah, but they're just about buying things. So they will love it. That's true.
Say it to my face.
I'm looking right at you. You actually listen to vinyl. No,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't does Maddie listen to all hers? I think she does. I think she keeps I think she has like a tab or like a Google sheet that she keeps track of which one she has listened. And
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think she's like going in some order.
Yeah, and last time we talked, I think she was like she was going through like chronologically or alphabetically. Yeah.
That's insane. It's a lot to listen to. I don't think I'd like that. I think I would just want to.
It turned into a chore at some point, right?
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
want to like, oh, I want to listen to this now. Spotify, enough for me.
Mm. Fair enough. Different strokes, different
Plus,
folks.
don't you have to like kind of listen to the whole thing through, or can you like?
I mean,
suppose
how you should.
True, but if you wanted to listen to a specific song, you're fucked.
Yeah, dude. Right? Yeah, unless it's a 7-inch. Yeah, man.
So, do you consider yourself more as a producer or an engineer?
Good question. I think that depends on the project. Some bands will bring in like a demo and be like, "We know what we're doing. This is it." So I'm happy to just, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, we'll make it happen, and I feel very content doing that. Um, Sometimes there's projects where you need to, someone needs to have more input to like fill in the gaps. At least things that I see as gaps that should be filled. So maybe I'll come up with ideas. You know, Tyler, I work with Tyler Wagner in No Passenger Studio, and he actually does very good at like quickly coming up with like, oh, what if we just added this lead quick? Yeah, something like this. Yeah, okay. It's like, okay, I wouldn't have thought of that. That's great. He's probably more, probably thinks more like that than I do. I think I'm much more content. I am very content getting files that are edited and just mixing without having to worry about, should this lead exist or not? Oh, well, it's here, so we're going to mix it. Okay. And that's like less stressful a lot of the times.
So is it your goal to like get to the point where you can just mix?
I think so. The only reason why I'm hesitant is because sometimes it's like, this is the best. Recording is the best. Why would I never not do this? But it gets, I don't know. I've told so many people for like a decade, like, okay, I think we can do better. Let's do another take, and like trying to be,
Or the classic one more.
yeah,
We
one
just let's
more.
just
And like
let's
that,
just get
I
one
feel like
more.
every time I've done that, it like wears on me. Like having to say something to somebody that lets them know that I don't think what they did was good enough yet, and we need to keep attempting till it reaches a level that I think it's good. And when I'm the one who's in charge of how good it is, that's like, it wears on me a lot, I guess. When I just get files, someone already decided this is good enough, and I just have to deal with this. I have to make this good. And I can just depend on myself. I don't have to like worry about anything else. And it's that's like less stressful for me. And I do enjoy that. However, I just recorded last weekend, I recorded Comatose, another James Benson band. They're like a grunge rock band. And it's not like, you know, like metal. You got double kick, 16 notes, maybe 6 tuplets, and the guitars are like following it. And you have to like edit every single one of those hits. Comatose is not like that. It's just like 3 full takes of the drums for a song, and like, yeah, I think we got it, dude. Next song. And it's like, that is so fun because it's so like, the focus is like, you're focusing more on like mic placement and vibe than you are on, oh yeah, the 15th, 16th note on that measure was a little early. You're not thinking like that. You're just thinking about, did that feel good or not? And that is like really, really refreshing. So I've really enjoyed that process rather than like getting super picky and like building riffs, you know, like, okay, let's get the palm mutes and then let's do the accent notes on 2 separate tracks, edit them together later. I don't know. At least that's how I do a lot of metalcore guitars. I don't know. This is a lot of words to tell you that when it comes to like Comatose, I'm happy to be like a little more producery, but when it comes to like intricate metal, sometimes it's just easier and I'm happier just getting tracks that are good and edited. Or I'll just send it to Stacy or make Tyler do it. That's another thing that I've been doing that I like a lot.
Hell yeah. So when you have people in the studio and you're recording, like whether it's, I mean, let's just say like vocalists,
Yeah.
like how do you handle like when like a vocalist is getting like stressed out or something like that? What's your approach?
Yeah, definitely trying to make them feel comfortable and letting like trying to create a comfortable atmosphere, letting them know like, dude, we can do this as long as it needs, or if it's not working today, we can come back later. We can stop the session now, stop paying hourly, and come back later when you're feeling good. Like whatever it takes for vocals is important. When it comes down to just like a guitar part that just has to be like a machine, then like let's just do it. Just play better. Do it. Whatever. It's fine. You're not like sharing a part of your soul. We're just trying to get this Palmy to sound good.
Right.
The vocalist feels that way. So you really gotta make them comfortable and like at any cost. That's like the most important thing. Because if they're not comfortable and they're feeling stressed out, they're never gonna have a good take, or at least reaching their fullest potential. A good question. And it happens a lot. And sometimes it's just like, maybe you can just send me tracks from recording it on your own at home with whatever mic you have. I'd rather get a comfortable take where you're putting in the right amount of emotion and you can dial all that in on your own without anyone else hearing you and sending me those tracks. I'll edit them, whatever, rather than like trying to get it through like all my fancy nonsense analog gear, It's better to get the right take every time. So make them comfortable. Yeah, you. Okay. Sorry, I have to be in the room when you're tracking. You don't get that.
Yeah, no. I think you do a good job though of like making it like personable and like you're not telling me I'm a worthless human because I can't play that weird 16th, dotted 16th at the right spot. You're encouraging, but you're also gonna like hold like high expectations, which I think is probably like I'm guessing a lot of folks that come to you probably would have a similar sentiment.
Very kind. I hope so.
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes I just am like, all I'm telling this person is negative things.
Yeah, but for a positive outcome.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
I just always hope like they know that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's like a conversation that doesn't really happen usually. It's just like, okay, I saw all this negative things. I think we have good enough takes that I think, but I think I've kind of pissed them off a bit during this process. But I know the takes are good, so I'm just gonna focus on that and be content with that.
And when they get the finals back too, I'm sure that all pales by comparison. Probably isn't even top of mind anymore.
Yeah, you're probably right. See, I'm all stressed out about it, and you're calming me down.
Cool as a cucumber.
What about you guys? How's tracking vocals with you guys?
Well, I mean, we kind of take that same approach because sometimes we do kind of butt heads about it a little bit. So I've just kind of let her do it when she wants to do it and is comfortable and stuff.
Yeah,
that's just what works best for us.
Do you like have other people in the room, or is it just you two?
No, it's when we do track together, it's just us two.
Yeah. I think that's the right way to do it. I've had it where like everybody in the band is like wanting to be there on the couch, and it's like, I think you're stressing our guy out here.
Yeah,
you guys should just leave.
I think the way that it causes the least stress for everybody is just if I just let her do it herself, because that's when she puts out the best takes. You can tell she's the most comfortable, and like she also like basically edits it and tunes it herself too. So I was like, that's one less thing that I have to do. So
that's very
hell
sick.
Yeah.
And also, if I try to tune it, she'll get pissed at me and be like, "No, you fucked up my vibrato."
I love that. I like that attention to detail a lot. Dude, that's good. If I'm ever recording vocals, I have to do it alone. I'm like, anyone in the room, I cannot handle it.
I feel the same
way. It's so weird. It's like it's subconscious, but like it shakes you at the core. You get it.
Yeah. Gotta be alone.
Mm-hmm. So what's your favorite thing about this job, and what's your least favorite thing about this job?
Yeah, favorite thing is getting really good tracks in my inbox. That's the best. My least favorite is when I get bad tracks. No, I mean, that is something I don't like. I don't know, we kind of touched on it, but like when I feel like I'm saying negative things over and over because like we're it's not good enough yet. That like weighs on me and is like it takes a lot of energy out of me. I feel like exhausted after those sessions. Even if we get the good takes and they are good, that really wears me out. That takes a lot of energy.
Yeah,
I guess
agree.
that's kind of my least favorite activity. I don't know, not my least favorite activity, but it's a challenging one. But yeah, when you get good tracks and they all just kind of whoever like arranged them like was thinking like this is gonna sound good to mix. No one's like there's no like it's just arranged well to sound good mixed. You know, you don't have to do anything weird. Sometimes there's like leads or like synths that are like in the same like octave, kind of playing something a little too similar, and they're kind of like fighting in a weird way. And then you put vocals along with that, and it just doesn't work. Sometimes people like think about that and they know that, and they like maybe jump the octave with a synth so it gets out of the way of like the lead or the vocal. I don't know. Appreciate that.
Um, so what when you're tracking like a band, is there a specific order you like to track things in?
That's been changing. I guess I would prefer just to do drums, guitars, bass, vocals. But we've been doing a lot more like working with Tyler. We're gonna do this tomorrow actually with Crown and Scepter from Green Bay. We're gonna have Tyler and the guitars and bass in his studio, which is right next to mine. Someday you'll have to come see it. It's kind of cool. We're renting space in the basement of this weird building. Every room is a music studio or a rehearsal space. So we have rooms next to each other. So he'll be in his room tracking guitars and bass to like whatever drums we have, or maybe no drums, maybe just beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, 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 but getting them really tight. So while he's doing that, I'm going to be setting up drums in my room with Nick, and we're going to just go when we're ready because we're going to have the demo track to play to. So really any order works for me at this point. Unless you're like a rock band that's like, yeah, we need to maintain the feel. Then it's like, yeah, okay, drums first. Then we'll build everything off that. And I do prefer that way. Maybe I'm like old school in that way. But I don't know. Periphery's been doing the drums last thing for a while, and I think that's
How?
just because they have demos of everything, so they just mute the programmed drums, and then they do it. Well, think about it, like kick patterns may like change,
Yeah,
like, while you're writing and recording.
I think personally that makes sense to do it last, just because, like I feel like drums is just like such a process to set up that like what if you record it first and then once you have everything else tracked on top of the drums, you're like, fuck, I don't like how this feels like with the guitars here. Like I wish I knew that this guitar was going to be this specific way at this part after it was like tracked the final way, because you know you might have demoitis and be married to that demo version.
I love that. I suffer all the time.
But
Constant sufferer of demoitis.
That is true. You're gonna love the demo we made last night more than the final.
That's always how it goes.
Yeah.
Do you think the fact that you're a musician helps or hinders your productions?
I think it helps. Yeah, of course it helps. What do you think? Like, do you think there's any?
The only reason I asked that is because I listened to an interview with what the fuck is his name? Lord LG.
Oh, Tom or Chris?
Tom and Lord
yeah.
LG.
Yeah.
And he said that he feels that his like the fact that he doesn't play any instruments or anything, like it allows him to view the productions as like a listener rather than like someone who's like involved with the creation of that process.
Yeah, I guess I can see that. I think recording guitars, you kind of need to be a guitar player, I feel like, to like be helpful. But I guess mixing, you could get away without knowing anything.
Yeah.
If everything's arranged correctly, you don't have to add any like I don't know. I always end up. You always get the note. Oh, can you then add big synths, big strings in the choruses? You know, so you're like, okay, whatever. But yeah, if you don't have to do any of that, you don't have to think about any of that.
Mhm.
That's cool insight. I like that. What's your take on that whole thing?
I mean, I feel like I don't know. I feel like it helps. It helps for sure. Just because I mean, I don't know. Composition kind of just like comes naturally to me, so it's like it's hard to say that it hinders it. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Yeah, that's my gut instinct is, of course it helps.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it?
I think it's probably like a sliding scale because like there are certainly going to be areas of deficit, like you're talking, like you do get pulled out of like the true listening, purely listening experience because like there's part of your brain that's probably thinking like, okay, well, like this is how this is being played. This has this technical implication. This has this, practical outcome. But like I'm thinking like, would movies have the same appeal if I were like a full-time videographer? Like
Right.
seeing how the sausage is made. Probably, I mean,
Or like a director or something.
yeah,
Like
right?
the way that like Tarantino views movies or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think it probably, yeah, like I said, I think it's like a scale thing. I can't really speak because I don't know shit about your faders and your Rupert Neves and your
Compression ratio.
compression ratios.
So you said something about outboard gear. I was just wondering what your stance on outboard gear is.
Well, yeah, it's
And
good.
like what percentage do you do on outboard gear, and what do you do in the box?
Yeah, so I still mix all in the box. All of my outboard gear is for tracking at the moment. So I got a few fancy preamps, have a distressor, and burl converters, which is so dumb, but now I'm used to it and I like it, so I guess I'm gonna keep it.
Is that the thing that you can flip the switch and then you sound like you're from London? It's got the British mode on it.
Maybe not that one. Maybe which one are you
There's
talking
something you have a switch and it goes from something to British mode and it just in my head I always think you just flip it and then like all the vocals sound like you're from London.
about? I wish it was that simple.
That's how Sleep Token does it.
Yeah.
They're actually American. They just flip on the London mode.
Yeah. Did you watch that Drumeo?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I just watched the talking parts, and then I was so annoyed with the filter they put on that I stopped watching it.
You can still hear his voice. You could hear his voice perfectly well. I feel like it didn't even distort his voice that much.
Right. It sounded really weird to me. I didn't really like it. I should have given it more of a chance.
The drumming is sick though. Like he's
crazy.
it's not like he's not reinventing the wheel. He is a little bit. I gotta give him credit, but like, it's just so tastefully done, and just like it's very, very musical. Like
One thing that I like notice about that band is they very much like the like the guitars are almost like whatever in that band, and like
Absolutely.
the vocals and the drums are like what drive everything, and they just like play off
And
of
the
each
synths.
other. Yeah.
Yeah, there's only a few like parts or like breakdowns where the guitar actually matters.
Mhm.
Every chorus, he's just like on his 8th string, just boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom.
But it's like fucking. I mean, I personally love it. I know they get a lot of flack, but I fucking love that band.
Yeah,
I think they're
rightfully
awesome.
so.
We love him. We love him over here.
Big stan.
We love all those fucking bands that everybody hates on all the time.
Give me my
Fucking
Nickelback. Give me my Sleep Token.
Yeah,
Creed, dude. Can't go wrong with Creed.
Going to the comeback tour.
I mean, I thought about it honestly.
Everybody has. I don't
they're
care if they want to admit it or not.
They're playing like in Green Bay, right?
First night of the tour.
Fuck.
Is it Epic? Epic show? Epic
No,
Events?
dude, they're bigger than Epic. I'm pretty sure it's Resh.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Resh.
Resh.
They could play
See you at
fucking-
the Resh. Remember those Razor 94.7? at the Resh.
No.
No,
Dude, they could play a fucking Lambo and probably sell it out.
Yeah, I bet. That would be so sick.
Yeah, they probably.
So you like to use real amps, right?
I do. Well, yeah, of course I do. I've been using a lot of neural stuff recently because it's so easy, but like Solshade is all like real amps, and that worked out really good. I don't really know when I decide we should use real amps. Sometimes it's just like, hey, band's coming in. I already know we're just gonna do DI Gojira. But I would like to do real amps all the time. It's like way more fun. Like Cicada, been working with Cicada, and we'll like track DI, but then he has some like really cool gear. He has like some like KSR stuff.
Oh yeah, of course.
Eric does, and so we'll just like rank it, we'll mic it all up, make sure everything's in phase, and just record it back in, and so loud, but it's edited DIs, so we'll just like leave the room.
You just track it right in your room, right?
Yeah, I'm just like a one-room studio. I don't have any other rooms. I guess I could go get Tyler's key and like put a cab in there. I guess we have done that at one point, but I don't know. I just do everything mainly in just my room. But yeah, I like using real amps. My biggest, like the most amps I've used is just my PV 6505 plus. Like that's what the Solshade tone is, but on the rhythm channel, it's on the lighter gain with the bright switch, and the gain is like pretty low, and it's really, I don't know, really twangy and annoying. I like that. But the Cicada stuff we used, his KSR head in that. That just has extra something special. I don't know what it is, but it's very cool.
I actually profiled it over here because he came over here one time and profiled it on my Kemper.
Nice. He actually brought it over to mine, and we did a profile of it recently too. We made a good IR of the cab too, the KSR cab. Dude, I should send that to you. It's pretty sweet.
You should.
It's really nice. I've been so I do a lot of neural stuff, but all the cabs I use are like cabs like I made with my real cabs.
Oh yeah,
that's been very helpful.
Yeah, I use a lot of the neural stuff. Just I don't really use it in like final productions. I think I might have in a couple, but
Why
usually,
not, dude? It sounds good.
Usually, what I do is I reamp. I'll get DIs and then I'll reamp through the Kemper. Lately I've actually been reamping through that KSR patch that I made.
Oh, nice.
And then I actually blend it with another patch that I made from Nathan Valentine. Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
He brought his driftwood over here and we profiled that one.
Oh, that's sweet.
So I basically, my tone these days is the KSR and the driftwood like blended together. And it's a really interesting tone.
Are they like in phase?
Trying to think.
I don't really know how that works. Like blending patches. I just assumed like depending on the IR. IRs I know can be like out of phase.
Well, I'll actually run them through with the cab off, and then I'll put them through. Have you ever heard of the GGD studio cabs, like the Cali one?
Oh yeah, with all the Zilla cabs.
So when I track it, I actually have it's like coming through without a cab on it, and then I have
I gotcha. The Misha way.
Yeah.
I watched that video. Yeah. You track it without a cab, so then you can choose that later, and you can just flip through them in the DAW.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
really so cool. If I turn that cab off, it'd be like, like.
I know that.
But I mean, I've gotten some fucking dope tones out of that, so
cool.
that's what I've been feeling lately. Just because in a couple of the last mixes I did for the Zeal stuff, like I just felt like the guitar tone just never was what I wanted it to, and now it's becoming more of what I want it to.
That's cool.
Hell yeah.
Dude, yeah, it's all about the cab.
Yeah, man. After we're done with this, I'll show you some of our new shit.
Hell yeah.
So This can be broad. I know you like to keep your secret sauce to yourself, but what's your favorite plugin?
Oh man, dude, I'm happy to share any secrets. I listened to Tyler's podcast. He was like, "Oh, I won't tell him everything." I was like, "I'll tell you everything. I don't care. You can make it sound the way I make it sound, then good for you. I'm just gonna tell you what I use. Really into Soothe right now. That's like changing my life. Um,
Is that the thing you slapped on the cymbals to take out the
the things, yeah.
or whatever
Yeah,
it is
it's
that they
just
do?
like you can track bad symbols, and then you just put Soothe on it, and then now the symbols are good.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry, am I
is-
giving away the secrets?
I don't care.
I mean, I literally do that.
Yeah,
So
everybody should. If you're tracking like live stuff, it's super important. Been doing a nollie trick with the Fab Filter Saturn. It has that dynamics knob that you just turn it down, and somehow it just like is like a snare depleter. I don't really understand how it works, but he was like, "Yeah, check this out. Yeah, this is what I did on P5." I was like, "What?" And so that's my first Fab Filter plugin, and I just use it for that. I haven't even messed with the saturation. I haven't even figured that out. I know it's really cool, and Buster uses it a lot, but I just use it just for that, and then I'll do a proper gate after that and a live snare now, along with Drum Leveler. You know about Drum Leveler?
I don't.
It's another good one for like live drums. It helps, like you can like set your like I want every snare hit to get this loud. So you set how loud you want the snare hit to get, but then it has like a percentage knob. So if you go like for kicks, live kicks for metal for us, I do just 100%. The natural kick is just like hitting the mark every time. So the only difference in sound is the actual like kick attack frequency changing like a natural drummer would, but not the velocity. So
I
like,
have
those
kind
are
of
more-
like a similar way that I achieve what you're talking about, at least with the snare. Where I use some like bus compression, and just the way that I set it is so that like everything else kind of like sits like just below the snare, and it allows the snare to kind of peek out.
yeah. On like an instrument bus type thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I do that too. Fast
Fuck
attack,
yeah.
fast release.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
Yeah.
So you do like an instrument bus. Do you send like synths and leads to that too?
No, I send synth leads and vocals to like a 2-bus, like
Yeah,
outside of the
okay.
instrumental.
Yeah, we're the same then. That's sick. That's cool.
Fuck yeah.
Then do you do another slow attack bus comp on the 2-bus, the final master?
I haven't been. Usually my the last things that I put on that 2-bus are Soothe, uh just like an EQ and like a final EQ, and then I put JST Maximizer.
Yeah.
That's been my final chain lately.
That's sweet. I've been trying to get more into like mastering and think like that, and I've definitely been buying more bullshit. I got like that Max Bass plugin by Waves. Have you seen that? It just like adds like harmonics in a range that you want them in.
I haven't. I
It's
think I've
super
heard of
cool.
that one.
It's
I
like,
use some another. Have you used any of the Renaissance stuff?
no.
I use this R bass.
Oh,
That
I've seen that used, and that's very cool.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I use that on my like kick and
Yeah.
bass.
I think I like need something like that because sometimes it's like I'm boosting like 40 hertz and I'm not getting more sub. You know.
One thing that plugin is really good for is like you. It's almost difficult to hear it through studio monitors.
Yeah,
but
you need a sub probably, right?
yeah, well, not only that, but like I feel like it's more for like where you really hear that plugin like work is like if you're listening on your like phone. Like so
Yeah.
it's like almost like it's a difficult plugin to hear. I feel like. I mean, you can kind of hear it, but like
Yeah,
where
I
you
know what you're
really
talking
notice
about.
where you really notice it is like it like raises the low end in those like areas that you set it to, like on like your phone,
For like smaller speakers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly what I use like the max bass for.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah, I believe in that a lot.
Oh
I
yeah.
like that. I think if I have any other weird ones I've been digging into the Gullfoss plugin. That one's pretty crazy. Went overboard on that. Been using the OTT, the over the top multi-band compressor. It's like a free plugin. It's like a Buster trick. Have you seen that at all?
I'm about to, because both you and Tyler both told me about that one.
Yeah, that's like another new thing, but use it extremely sparingly. But I have used it on like get like a bad bass DI track that's just zero clink, almost like dead strings. You can throw that on and it like ultra compresses the high end too. And you just like mix that in, it just makes it sound like brighter. Like before you do like a distortion plugin or something. That really helps. I've been messing around with that. But you keep the mix at like 10 to 20%.
I might have to. You said that's a free one.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna try that.
You need to mess with that.
Because I've been struggling with my bass shit. Like honestly, I'm just spilling all my Zeal secrets here, but
Your bass guitar?
we don't track bass. We just use MIDI bass.
You just program it?
Just because I legitimately bought a nice bass, and I just struggle with getting it to sound good so bad. I can't figure out the fucking knobs, how to get them to sit right, and it's just
This bass right here?
yeah, that
Dude,
bass right there.
Let's fuck with that. I'm sure we can.
Okay, I'm just
We'll figure it out.
if you want to help me out, man, I'm all for it. I've been struggling with that. I've been fucking using MIDI bass because I can't get it to sound good. But I mean, maybe that OTT plugin is like something that I need.
I really only use it when it's like a bad bass track though. But yeah, like fresh battery, fresh strings.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's just that the EQ I struggle with. I don't know what fucking knob.
Yeah, keep it flat, dog.
Yeah.
Flat. Maybe just a little bit high end. Is it one of those like passive or active switch, and then that when it's an active the EQ works? One of those.
I think
with a
it's
3-band?
just active.
Okay.
I don't think there's a passive option on that one. But I just like I don't know. It's probably on me. I probably just need to do some research and figure out what the EQ shit is,
Sure.
because like I think it's like because there's two knobs stacked on top of each other. I think like one is
Oh,
like
a mid sweepable.
yeah, it's sweepable.
That's fancy. That's cool.
So yeah, but yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, bass dude. Who needs it?
so what's in the future for Solshade?
Sorry, I've said like a lot of words.
Yeah, they're all really good. So I didn't want to ruin your streak. We've got a sick little run coming up in March with our near dear beloved pals, the Motion Mosaic. March 14th, 15th, and 16th. Minneapolis, Chicago, and Madison. Another special shout out. I love the Motion guys so much. Are you familiar with the Motion Mosaic?
I mean, I've seen their name around. I
Highly recommend. Great dudes, great
Check 'em out.
music.
Their music is insane.
Like, I know I'm biased, but like they don't. They should be blowing up. They're checking all the boxes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're doing that. We're making a few stops there, playing with some sick bands. I'm trying to think. Chicago date is with Snooze, The Untold, and Future Trash. The Minneapolis date is with our other really lovely set of pals, Vin. They are some of the coolest people. Popstar, and I think it's just us in Motion on that one.
Yep, just 4.
Yeah, and then Madison, we've got
Lilac, Lotus, Unnecessary Gunpoint Lecture. Yeah, Momo, us. I think it's just 4 in that one.
yeah, that's right. Very excited to see Lilac live.
Yeah, I haven't seen him live yet.
So yeah, doing that. We're cranking out more and more writing, demoing, finishing the album.
You guys got a new album in the works? Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
We'll show you a little something.
Oh.
It's not crazy.
a little
Maybe
crazy.
just crazy.
I mean, that shit that I saw on your story earlier, that was fucking slamming. So I was like,
yeah,
I'm
dude,
excited.
we're in drop A now. It's a really big deal. I'm like a drop D guy. We went really heavy all the way down to drop A. It's a big deal for me. I know like most people playing like F now. Baby steps.
We're in F sharp and E.
See?
We have 2 songs now in E. Drop E.
So sick.
They're gnarly.
See if we go 5 semitones lower than A on the new Gorgier plugin, then we're in E.
5?
The pitch shifter doesn't sound that great on that plugin, in my opinion.
I like it because it's better than the one that I use live.
The fucking Kemper one is the best one. Like I have like just a pitched down DI patch on there that I'll run it through that and then run it into my interface. Just cuz the fucking pitch shifter on the Kemper is so clean. It's the cleanest pitch shifter I think I've ever heard.
How about the latency?
I don't notice any latency.
Interesting. So we have
Maybe I'm just not as picky as some, but I don't really notice much latency.
Yeah, we use the Fractal AX8s. Pretty ancient technology now compared to like quad cortex and all that. But the pitch shifter on that is like a really noticeable. We go from D to A for one of our songs in drop A on Retrospect, so we pitch 5 semitones lower, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a lot. And it's a significant like
yeah,
almost that bad.
Maybe because I only go down 2 semitones, maybe that
could be.
Yeah.
But so when I'm doing the neural one with the new Gorgier X plugin, I'm like so much faster. I love it so much. So much more fun to play. Or just playing a baritone guitar in A is the best probably still. But yeah, we have new stuff we're working on. We got those shows. Probably should book more shows. We have like a shuttle bus that we like put bunks in that we're really jacked about.
Fuck yeah.
Very fun. It's like the most fun. I have the most fun just being in it.
Except for the recent run with Tanzan and
That is a story we should say, actually.
Tell it. Let's hear it.
Oh man.
We had our boy Luke Berkovich. Is that how you say his last name?
I love Luke
he's
so
like
much.
in like a million bands, but he filled in for vocals for us at that show. So that's why it wasn't James. It was Luke. But that was like the cold weekend. So after that show, we like went and stayed with Maddie's uncle. Our bus is diesel, and like we like got new fresh batteries with like a ton of cold cranking amps. We knew like it was gonna be cold, but it's like the next day we try to start it. It's like -15, and our bus is in the shade. Of course, it's not gonna start. Of course not. So we like paid a big money for someone to come jump it.
Yeah, for anyone wondering, it costs 300 big ones to get jumped.
Yeah, they bring these. He brought 2 of these huge portable batteries and hooked them up. Started right up. I was so mad,
dude. It literally took him 16 seconds.
I was.
Oh yeah, this will do it.
Yeah, so mad because like I've seen those on Amazon. He's like, yeah, just get them on Amazon. I was like, oh man, for $300, I could have bought 5 of those. Oh man, but so then we like. Oh, now we can go to Chicago where it's colder.
The drive to Chicago was the most like humbling experience I may have partaken in ever. Like,
because you were so cold.
It was just so cold, like bone chillingly cold. And we like stopped at this rickety Shell station at one point. So desperate for heat, we bought these overpriced hand warmers.
Everybody bought like 2. We like cleaned them out.
They didn't even work until we got to the venue. So all of that trying was for naught. And yeah, just I personally was broken. But then so to avoid having to pay another $300,
we never turned the bus off.
Just parked it in front of sub
we
T.
we illegally parked it in front of the venue. We just like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna give us a ticket? Well, that's cheaper than $300. Let's just leave it here, and we just left it on the entire show. It was on because then we never turned it off. So we got back to Madison. It was on and running for over like
At
Oh.
least 7 hours.
I think it was like closer
Damn.
to 12 hours. It's a very long time.
Good thing diesel's fuel economic.
Is it?
I think so.
Smells terrible.
Does smell terrible.
But
Yeah.
like it was like -20 on the drive back, middle of the night, and
Piss poor insulation.
yeah, our bus has no insulation. It's so cold. Everybody had like all of their clothes on, all their blankets. The heat is cranked, doing nothing. Absolutely nothing.
from like this is the vent. This is where your hand had to be to feel the air, but like the air's hitting this point and it's already cold.
Yeah, it's
It's
so
just-
cold that the heat doesn't even heat up.
Oh.
So our bodies were numb by the time we got back to Madison at like 3 or 4 a.m.
So did you guys get that fixed now?
Well, there's nothing to get fixed. It was just that cold.
Oh damn.
I mean, we just need to buy those portable batteries.
Yeah.
To answer your question, yeah, we fixed it by never booking a
Show
set
again.
of shows in the middle of polar Arctic frozen tundra times.
Poor Luke. Like, he was like, "Yeah, man, we're gonna do this tour. Come with us. It's gonna be fun." I think he was miserable the whole time. He was so cold.
He's got the mentality though to
Yeah,
like
he
I
did
think he
good.
did enjoy himself. I sure appreciated him being
I
there.
sure loved having him.
He
He
was
did so good.
busted ass. Shout out to Luke.
Yeah, he learned our set in like a week or two on vocals.
And yeah, that was his first foray like ever being just straight up vocalist. Like we had that one show. Was it one show with him before? The rig.
couple.
There was a Rigby and then
Rigby?
not Rigby, Mickey's.
Yeah, we had Mickey's and then the Wisco.
The Wisco, that's right. Yeah. Wisco's fun. So yeah. Wild stuff.
Very cold.
Fucking van problems.
Yeah. Fortunate to have the van problems, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the bus works perfectly.
Yeah,
It's
it does.
just too cold.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay, so I think we can start to wrap it up here, but just as like a closing question, if you guys could go back to when you started and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
It's a tough one.
I don't know, because everything that happened got me to this spot, and I kind of like this spot.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tricky.
I think probably just speaking in broad strokes, not like necessarily music specifically, but would include it. We just like make sure like you value the people that you surround yourself with, because like that directly informs the quality of like what you're doing, whether that's a creative endeavor or like just living your life. I think like making sure you're surrounding yourself with like people that bring you value and then you can reciprocate value to. Yeah, I'd say that. I think it'd be fair.
Hell yeah,
I feel like I've like come into that knowledge like
that's a good one.
recently, and that's just like been
Legit.
the big focus is like, hell yeah, time's limited. Like you have to surround yourself with people that like make a difference, and then you can make a difference in their life.
Hell yeah.
like bigger than music, dude.
That's like the world, bro. You ever like think about society, bro?
I don't know if I have one. 'Cause, like, yeah, like I just kind of said, like everything that has happened has led to like where I am now, and generally I like what I'm doing now. I don't know. I don't really know what to say about that.
I think it's good to be contented though too.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe like I don't know.
play more guitar earlier. I don't know. Like well, I had like a long stretch where I just played bass exclusively.
Pangea days.
Pangea,
Yeah, yeah.
and then like granny shot bass, cover band stuff. I think here it is. Here it is. I should have been. I pursue like music for yourself, like selfishly. Like you can be in other bands where it's completely like collaborative or whatever, but like having something musical that is purely for yourself that you enjoy, I think is really important. And I think I should have done that sooner.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's big time.
Yeah.
That's like bigger than music.
Thanks, dude.
What about you? I want to hear your input. Have you answered this one? I'm sorry.
No, nobody's asked me yet, so
I'm dropping the ball.
Yeah, you didn't think about that, did you?
I'd probably say surround yourself, like it kind of almost piggybacks off of what you were saying, but like surround yourself with people who share, not only like share the same interests with you, but like are gonna like push you to constantly be like improving yourself, and stay away from drugs.
Hell yes. Especially the hard ones.
Yeah.
Super solid.
Fuck yeah. All right, well, fuck yeah, dudes. This was awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you for
Likewise,
doing
man.
this.
This is great. I don't
Hell
even know how
yeah.
much time has passed. Is it morning? Do we
It
need to
might
get
have been
breakfast?
might have been like 2 hours, something like that. Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.